Yo, ladies and gentlemen, we are back again with another disturbing video, a compilation of videos that could prove that Lilly and Jack Sullivan were murdered by their mother. Let's check this out.
There has been an update on the Jack and Lilly Sullivan, the two children out of Nova Scotia, Canada, that have been missing. They still are missing. However, they found boot prints in the woods. Now, I am not really sure how this has happened, that they missed these boot prints, but I still feel like there is foul play involved. I honestly feel like, and I know this is weird, and I'm not, this is just my opinion, but I feel like that that her that woman's partner went out into the woods with boots and pressed them into the soil. I don't know. This is just so weird. This is just so weird. Also, in other weird news about this whole thing, the mother's name's Malia. She had a Facebook account, right, that she keeps deactivating and reactivating. The other day, she had a profile picture of her and her partner on there. Well, they broke up or whatever. She went to Facebook today to repost a new picture of her two children. And then she wanted everyone to know that she's officially single.
What never made sense to me is how this has happened and the parents then split up. Ain't this supposed to be a time of unity coming together in search for the two missing children?
Updates in the Lilly and Jack Sullivan case. So apparently throughout the searches, they found some things that indicated that the children have been or are in the woods somewhere. I listened to some of the searchers' recordings for when they was calling in, letting people know if they found anything. And there was a couple things that stood out to me. One guy said he found a sticker that they are thinking was on Lily's backpack because the mom's boyfriend stated that she had her backpack or that the backpack was missing. And then they found blankets, some type of blankets that may have been from the home of the kids. And they also spotted some other things that made them think that footprints. There was a lot of small children boot size footprints walking towards or near one of the canals, where the water is. They said they could not tell because I guess it had rained so much or it had been kind of flushed out by the water prior, but that they were definitely kids' boot footprints, and they were still leading that way, following in the search. I know they did scale the search back to a more closed off perimeter closer to the house, and I saw them looking under the house. Like 2 days ago, they just looked under the house. I don't know why they didn't do that the first day. They have not issued an Amber Alert for these kids to be missing. So they have kind of ruled out in their mind that these kids were not abducted. So I don't know if they are, believing that these kids really did wander off into these woods or if someone led them into these woods, but they did see boot prints that, convinced them the children were in the woods at some point recently. Within the last few days of this happening. So they went missing.
It means the kids could have been in the woods a few days before they actually went missing. Bearing in mind, if you look at the location of where they live, it does look secluded. It's not really much going on there. Another red flag for me is the blankets being found in the woods. Why would the kids who are supposedly playing leave the house and take blankets with them, take a backpack with them? Sounds more like the kids are trying to run away or escape something.
So they went missing, or May 3rd, I think, or May 2nd is when they were turned in missing, or the mom called the police and stated that she had been dozing on and off with her 16-month-old, trying to put the baby down for a nap. And Lily kept coming in and out of the room. She told them to go play because they were trying to get the baby to sleep. She said about 20 minutes passed and there was no sound, and she got a little worried. So she got up and checked, and that's when she noticed the kids were not there. Their boots were gone. The backpack, Lily's backpack, was gone. And the sliding door is what they're saying that they went out of. Now, the mom has left the area. From what I'm seeing, the police told her to leave the area, go somewhere else, but she has blocked the boyfriend, and she has went to Facebook and made statuses saying single and ready to mingle.
Right, it's so crazy. That is super demented. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. She split up with her partner. They have an 18-month-old baby together. Their 2 other kids are missing, and she's updating her status on Facebook saying single to mingle. Make it make sense.
In this time, in this situation going on, that would be the last thing on my mind. These kids, I believe, were on the spectrum. I think that they were autistic. I'm not 100% sure, but videos kind of led me to believe that maybe these kids were autistic. And I don't know if maybe, what if, my theory, of course, allegedly, my theory, what if these kids were just too much to handle and something happened and the boyfriend knows something happened, but the mom did it. And that's why the boyfriend is demanding a polygraphic test to rule him out, that he didn't do anything. But I don't know, y'all. This is a crazy case. I was really been praying that these kids are just found somewhere hunkered down to be safe, you know, and that they're okay. I just don't know if that's going to be our outcome in this case. Even if they did just wander off, it's just the interviews that the mom and the boyfriend are doing are just so weird. Like the boyfriend said, check the covers. I don't know why they haven't found Jack's pull-up, because if it got wet out there, he would have took it off. Or Lily's backpack. Why haven't you found her backpack? I get it. I do. Like in that frantic, you know, panic mode. I get it. But the mom leaving, I don't care if authorities told me to leave. I would not leave. I don't care if authorities told me to not help search. The boyfriend has been out searching and the mom hasn't. And it's just unsettling to me. So you let me know what you think about this case in the comments.
So we have some updates coming out in the case of missing Lilly and Jack Sullivan, who are 6 and 4. And they've gone missing from Nova Scotia in Canada. So the police have said, obviously, that they think foul play is suspected in this case because they've done all the searches and they cannot find any sign of the kids. And the dogs only actually led to the end of the path, like at the bottom of the garden, before the scent was lost. Now, the children's dad, Cody Lee Sullivan, has not seen his children, and he says they are not with him. Now, there was no Amber Alert put out due to the fact that there was no reason to believe the children had been suspected. Daniel Martel, their stepfather, has been trying to cooperate apparently with the police. However, he is still a person of interest at this time, in my opinion, because you cannot rule this guy out or the mother from the way they've acted. Now, Lilly and Jack's mother, along with Daniel, the stepfather, share a daughter named Meadow, who's 16 months of age. And it is believed that she may be with CPS at this time, Child Protective Custody, due to the fact that we know that Martel actually appeared at the offices of the CPS and asked if he could see Meadow, and he was denied. And that would lead you to believe that they actually have Meadow in order to deny the access.
Yesterday's video, I was under the impression that the mum had custody of the 18-month-old baby. Sounds like at this point, CPS has fully taken the baby off both parents and refused the stepfather from seeing the baby until this is all resolved. I mean, that does make a lot of sense because this is one strange case.
Now, the parents have said from day one that they were in the room together, the bedroom, feeding Meadow. In my opinion, I've never seen two parents feed a baby together. Now, when Daniel Martel was refused by CPS to see the children, it was said that due to the ongoing investigation and disappearance of the children, that CPS would have to keep a close eye on what was going on.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Authorities say in order to move the investigation on, they are examining the wireless router at the family's home in order to look for vital clues. They are looking specifically at who connected to the router at what points throughout the days around the kids' disappearance. The police say they've also taken items belonging to Lilly and Jack, including stuffed animals, which is a blue dinosaur for Jack, and a white unicorn belonging to Lilly, and they have been submitted for testing. Now, it's good to know that the Canadian police are covering all bases, and I do believe that in the next couple of days, we are going to see arrests made.
Way my jaw dropped when I see the in-home living situation of Lilly and Jack Sullivan, the two missing children in Nova Scotia, y'all. Oh my God. So this allegedly is a in-depth, more pictures of the home that Jack and Lilly Sullivan went missing from in Nova Scotia, Canada. Now, they expressed that they lived in a trailer and they had a lot of land, and it was in an area that was right next to the woods. And these sliding glass doors were the ones that they said they couldn't hear open. Now, why can't you hear? This is not a very big trailer. Why can you not hear? How can you not hear the sliding glass door open when the trailer is that small and the sliding glass doors are that old? This is the road leading to the home. Y'all can see how it's a busy road right there. And then you could get to the home, and then there's multiple trailers on the property. This is one of the trailers on the property with a fence around it. So there's no way out of that area. I don't know who's supposed to be living here, but they never explained who's supposed to be living here, because I thought it was just the mom, the stepdad, and the 3 kids. This right,
I think it's the stepdad's mum that lives in that caravan at the back there.
Here is another part of the trailer. The back of it, you can see there is woods back there. This doesn't make any sense to me. How can 2 young, small children walk all that way by themselves, especially in these kind of conditions?
It's been over a week since a desperate search for 2 children missing from Nova Scotia has begun. Lilly and Jack Sullivan vanished from their home on May 2nd, while their mother, stepfather, and baby sister were all close by. The children's mother, Malaya, had said in one interview that on May 2nd, she was drifting in and out of sleep, but she could hear Lilly and Jack playing in the next room. The mom said Lilly and Jack happened to get out of the home sliding doors and went outside to play, although neither her nor the stepdad Daniel knew the kids had gotten outside. When it became quiet inside, the mom asked the stepdad if he could hear the kids, and he said no. So the mom went around looking for the kids, and they were nowhere to be found. She said she instantly calls 911. Now, both kids weren't at school on at least May 1st and 2nd. The reason? Because Jack had a cough. So did the kids wander off? Were they taken? Or did something else happen here?
I mean, there is rumors online at the moment to suggest that there was a lot of abuse happening within the household. If that is true, then it could tie in with why Lilly and Jack took blankets, took their backpack.
Aspects of this case just aren't adding up, and the stories keep changing. It's been reported that the mom has since left the home and blocked the stepfather. If Jack and Lilly did wander off, nothing of theirs have been found. It's odd to think that 2 kids so young could stay together for over a week and neither one, the other, or both have been discovered.
Exactly.
What are your thoughts on this strange disappearance?
As we said in the last video, for kids as young as these 2, 6 and 4, not to leave one speck of evidence, we have is the footprints. And you have to say at this point, those footprints could have been from days before. Those footprints could have actually been planted knowing that I've just committed something so heinous, killing my kids. And now what I'm going to do is plant a scene, make it look a certain way. If the mum did actually wrap the kids up in a blanket and one by one take them along that canal, it is possible she could have used the shoes to press into the mud and then dispose of them thereafter.
All right, y'all. So I'm going to be looking down the whole video, but just don't pay me no attention. This is an update in the Lilly and Jack Sullivan case in Nova Scotia. So I just read some news articles stating that they have brought in crime scene investigators and they have ruled it officially suspicious activity, suspicious circumstances as to the disappearance with these kids. There was not an Amber Alert issued because they said there was not enough evidence to point to an abduction. Now, there might have been an alert issued stating that the kids have wandered off, but they did not release an actual Amber Alert. They just did not have enough evidence to do that. As to the audio recordings and everything that I posted about yesterday, you can listen to that on Google, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. There is a dispatch recording released where a guy said that he found, and it was actually a retired soldier that found several different boot prints close to the water, which made them scale back their search. And he found a holographic sticker that they thought maybe belonged to Lily's backpack. The boyfriend did say that the sticker did not come off of her backpack from what I'm hearing. And you guys, listen, this is all alleged, and this is just stuff that I'm finding on social media, in news articles, from locals that say they're local. I trust people until they give me a reason not to trust people. So anytime someone comments on something, if these kids are deceased, I hope and pray to God not. But I cannot control what people comment. I just can't control it. This is not for rage bait. This is not just to monetize off of this app. I talk about crimes, not just this crime. In my eyes, this is not just my kids wandered off of the property case. This is a crime. I feel like in the end, somebody will be charged in the disappearance of these children, even if these children are never found. It's just one of those sad, weird cases that unfortunately I think the parents or the mom and the boyfriend had something to do with. May be completely wrong. That's my theory, not yours. So just wanted to clear that up. If you want to see the dispatch or listen to the dispatch audio, y'all go look it up before all of the rude comments come along. And you can look up in the news articles and see what I confirmed today about the suspicious activity and the crime scene investigators moving in. That is why the search was scaled back. They're still searching, but they've made it to a closer perimeter to the house and to the land closer to the home. And yes, they did search under the trailer, and I do not believe that they found those kids yet.
Hey guys, so I'm here with a requested channel on Lilly and Jack Sullivan, the two missing children from Nova Scotia. So before I get into this channel, I do want to say, as in all my videos, that this is for entertainment purposes only. However, I do take cases like this pretty seriously. Let's get into what I saw. For starters, I don't believe that the father was involved whatsoever. From what I can see, the mother had everything to do with this. I feel like the mom is going through some sort of manic, depressive sort of episode that should be diagnosed and should be treated, whether this is postpartum, whether this is depression. There's a little bit of anger towards the husband as well, so that could all be tied into it. I see that the mom and the father were laying down. The father was knocked out cold. I mean, cold. Before I jump into that very quickly, I know people are wondering why the kids missed a week of school. I feel like there was a lot of abuse in this house. And I feel like the reason why the kids missed a week of school was due to a lot of bruising that the kids had on their bodies, which is going to come into play later on. So as I was saying, the mom and dad were in bed, knocked out cold. I feel like the two kids were getting into some things and being very loud. Mind you, when someone is very manic, you never know when they're just going to snap or have an episode. And this is kind of what happened. I feel like the youngest, which I believe was Jack, he was being very loud, doing what kids do. And I see that she was whooping him very harshly, very bad. Could be with a belt, could have been with something. Very hard whippings.
I mean, if this is all true, then the stepfather should be able to vouch for this. Of course, this is remote viewing, a psychic reading. This is her thoughts, her opinions, more or less.
I see she grabbed something and hit him in his face, and he fell to the... Don't know if that was some sort of confirmation, but he fell, hit his head, and was unconscious. The older daughter saw this and was crying hysterically. And I also see that she may have urinated on herself during this.
Wow. I mean, up until this point, it's sounding realistic. It is sounding extremely possible. One of the reasons I can say that is because I know people that have personally gone through similar experiences as a child.
So even though that the youngest child was knocked out and was unconscious, I think she thought that he was gone, but he was still alive. So then I feel that she took him.
You feel, remember that. So she feels that the mother then took the son, after knocking him out unconscious, to the river, the canal, whatever you want to call it, and drowned him. According to this lady, this is her theory. This is what she thinks. This is all alleged. Can I say I believe what she's saying at this point? Up until this point, yeah. This point right here, not too sure. Not entirely sure. It's possible, but I'm not entirely sure.
So sad. She drowned him, but she didn't keep him in the water. It's almost like, I didn't have the right word to say, but just drowning him until he was gone. It showed her coming back into the home, taking the oldest daughter. I saw her crying to her and telling her that she's sorry, and then taking the daughter and doing the same thing to the daughter. So she drowned both of them. However, she didn't keep their bodies in the water.
Hold on, where is the stepfather whilst this is all happening? You're telling me the stepfather was knocked out to the point where he wasn't aware of none of this taking place?
All right, we are working with no light here. She took them then and placed them somewhere else, not far from the home. I want to say, so she took them from the water and placed them what looks like in the woods. Because what I can see when I remote viewed, it's so sad, it breaks my heart, as I see a little foot stuck out in what looks like not grass, but maybe leaves, sticks, something that she's covered.
Okay,
the
this
kids
lady
with.
published this video 1 day ago. These two poor young children have been missing for 11 days. If a foot was sticking out of a bush, out of a bit of grass, out of whatever, surely the dogs would have picked that up. Surely the search team would have stumbled across that by now.
With both of them together.
And they're
She
both
went
together.
back into the house, climbed into bed with the husband, and acted as if nothing happened.
Oh,
Mind you,
wow.
she is
That
married.
is psychotic.
When he
Proper
woke
psychopath.
up, I feel
If true.
she started to ask him, the kids are quiet, what's going on? She had to put on this act. Because
Wow. So all of that happened whilst this guy was asleep. That must have taken at least 2-3 hours to get through that process.
She just did. From what I can see, she acted paranoid. She ran outside and did a big scream. She, screamed one of their names. And I feel like the father has a lot of guilt because she threw a lot of manipulation towards him, saying, well, if you weren't knocked out or if you weren't asleep, maybe this wouldn't have happened. This is your fault.
Oh, wow.
He's taking a lot of blame because she's made him feel like this is his fault.
And then she decided to split up from him and duck out from him. I mean, this is an absolute bizarre story. This lady right here sounds like she is hitting nails on the head. I don't know about all the drowning stuff, but everything else that encompasses this lady's theory does make a lot of sense.
She disappeared. Truly, what I feel is because she doesn't want to be questioned. She doesn't want to be involved as much as he is because she has a lot more to hide. She knows she doesn't have that great of a story. The father is so much more involved because he truly is innocent in all of this. Will they be found? Yes. It might take a while because I feel like this is an area where the police just may not search. They may not go looking in this specific area. So yeah, that is what I saw. These kids are no longer with us. And this was all because of a manic episode that the mother had. And the father feels a tremendous amount of guilt, as though if he could say, like, if only I was up and awake, this wouldn't have happened. I should have been there. I should have heard something. I should have saw something.
It really doesn't make any sense how he was knocked out to the point where he didn't hear his partner having this manic episode. If the kids were making all of this noise and she lashed out on the kids, surely it would have woken him up. Unless you're telling me this guy was on heavy drugs and they're just used to abuse in their house so much that they ignore it most of the time.
I don't feel she orchestrated this. This was kind of like a snap. She just, something in her brain just altered. And again, the kids missed school, not because they did this a week prior. No, this was because they had a lot of bruising on the body. And the one thing I will say is the father is not, the children being abused at home is not something he's not aware of. So there was a lot of abuse in the house.
So the father does know that these kids were abused. This is what I'm saying. If he knows that there's a lot of abuse in the house and the mum's lashing out on the kids and he's knocked out sleeping, he might have heard the commotion but decided just to ignore it because it's something that they're so used to. And he never thought it would have went to the extreme of the mum killing one of the kids.
The father is a little off, but the mother is pretty crazy. And just a little soulless, if you ask me.
Soulless.
That is my channel. It's very unfortunate, but that is what I feel what happened.
Remember what she said there, ladies and gentlemen. That's what she feels happened. It's not a fact. It's not true. It's just a feeling. It's just a vibe. Ultimately, it's just her opinion. I have to say, I do lean towards agreeing with most of what she said there. In my opinion, the mum is the #1 suspect. That is the person that needs to be thoroughly interrogated. 11 days and these poor young children are still missing. They really want us to believe that these children just wandered off. I don't think so. This screams foul play to me, and there is a cover-up taking place with this mum and potentially the stepfather as well. But I need to know exactly what you guys are thinking. Leave all your comments down below in the comment section. Do you think the mum is responsible for unaliving both of these two kids, or do you think they just wandered off and are out there missing by themselves? Ladies and gentlemen, comment down below, let me know. Make sure you hit the like button. Let's get over 1,000 likes on this video. Subscribe to the channel if we are newly watching. Turn your notification bells on so you don't miss out on future videos, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one.